Hey, hold on one sec, okay? I need to.
Hello.
Hi, one sec, okay.
Okay.
I have to close all these windows before I. Oh, not ending for all. Okay, no, okay. Okay, yeah. Good to see you. Hey, Bhatia, well, welcome. Okay, so this is week 5. Next week is the last week. Yes.
No, we're almost done.
Yeah, so I'll hang around for a few minutes today, and then if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. We'll wait for a few more people to turn up tonight. Yeah.
Hello.
And hi. Yeah. So we'll just wait for a few more people to turn up, and I'll just hang around for a little while, and then if you guys have any questions, I'll answer them, and then I'll take off, and then you can have your usual discussion after that. Yeah, yeah. So the midterm is over, and I guess you guys you have a bit of relief. Well, 1 week really, because next week you got to do your finals. The summer is. That's why I don't offer CS2C in summer. Yeah, you think about it, right? So it's 2B is in summer. Unless you do a half-ass job, it's a bit of a struggle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's
a little bit.
And people always say, and I used to think like that too, right? When I was a student, like you guys, that's what I think. I used to think, and but I find the mindset hasn't changed. The students even today feel the same way. They think that it's just a matter of intelligence and cleverness, because they don't need as much time as the other people to understand something. So they think, well, I just need a couple of days before the final, and I just need to go through the book and I'll understand. That is the stupidest thing ever. And you've got a lot of time until now, at least in my case, to repeatedly try that and fail. And this is not working at all. But still, I continue to believe that. Until I was in college, I used to believe that I just needed a few days, and then I could cram it all in. But it really is, once you get to training neural nets later on in life, you'll actually realize it's not a few data points. That's not enough. In order to skew the probability distributions within these trillions of nodes in there, you got to keep, hitting it again and again and again and again with, tons and tons of vectors. And each vector will basically nudge a weight in a particular direction, right? But it's not going to push it all the way to the target. And depending if the noise cancels itself out, like the Fermi principle thing that calculation thing that I talked about before, right? So the correct kind of stimulus will push all the weights in the right direction. And provided you have lots and lots of nodes, all the weights will be tuned just right for fitting the data, right? With the noise. And where was I going with that? Yeah. So when you get to that stage, or when you're wearing, I think the best exercise for computer scientists or anyone really, right? Computer scientists, musicians, anyone learning an art, and art really, I think by definition, requires practice. Okay, it's not just genius. You can't say, well, I just wake up and I know how to do this. Even after you're a genius, you got to, in fact, that's what makes is a very clear telltale sign of geniuses, is that they do a lot of practice. They practice a hell of a lot, except the practice doesn't look like practice because they're just doing what they love to do. But to other people, it looks like practice, right? But genius he or she is not practicing at all. They just, doing the stuff. But the practice is like, growing a plant. So I think that is the best exercise for anyone trying to learn an art. Okay, grow a plant from a seed. Okay, and many of these will die over time, and so you'll figure out, get in tune with, and the most important skill that builds is patience. To say, well, I've done the best I can, but it's not going to happen today. And so I'm not going to stay by the plant, watching it grow every single day, but I come back next day and it's going to be different. And it's exactly the same. You keep fighting with a piece over and over again. At the end of the day, even after 5 hours of practice, maybe something, a sequence of dance steps you're trying to learn, or a musical instrument, and you think, well, I'm never going to get it. My fingers are just not moving the right way. And you go to bed, and the next day you come back and try it. It's not hard at all. And the muscles take a little bit of time, right? And even neural nets take so long to get trained, right? So physical muscles, are a different kind of mechanical system here. It's not enough to just say, I'm going to cram for a week or a day. So this takes a lot of time. That's why programming itself, it takes a long time, not just these, a few months that you work on it, but it'll take 10 years, maybe 10 years or something like that. But of constant involvement, right? Not like, working for a job and in a profession and saying, well, I'm doing a programming job and I do it for the day and I'm done with it. Okay. That's not a programmer at all. That's just someone who's just earning a livelihood, right? A programmer is basically thinking about everything like a program, right? So it's got programmatic critical thinking mindset to it. And so they're looking at everything. And how do I optimize this? What is the waste? How do I enjoy life without having to do any more effort than absolutely necessary, right? If it means that I don't even have to breathe, I won't breathe. And so that is the programming mindset. And just, I'm not going to save energy just because it's, carbon friendly or eco-friendly and shit like that. I'm going to save energy and use the most efficient algorithm and get it running as fast as I can, not because of any social value, but because it's a total waste for me. This is beautiful machine cycles, just being burned for no reason at all, could be used for something else, right? So that is the kind of mindset. But in order for that to take root, it's already there in everybody, right? That's the seed is there. But in order for it to take root and grow, 1 day or 2 days or 2 days, 10 days, that's not enough. It has to take root and grow and establish itself in your mental neural network. That takes a long time. It's like watering a plant and watching it grow into a tree. And so that is why you have to keep, after you're working, maybe you're not working at your job programming thing at home, but maybe you're working on your own toy project. Right? It doesn't matter if nobody else is going to see it. You're doing it just because, you love the beauty of certain constructs and see how things come together, right? So you have to keep playing with it, tinkering with it, essentially tinkering with things, helping people with the programming. So that kind of involvement, I think sets the stage for the establishment of the pathways in your brain to give you that insight about programming itself. What it is we're trying to do. Why is it we're doing it algorithmically rather than analytically? Yeah. Because in many cases, if we can do an analytical solution, we'll just do it and get, be done with it. And in many cases, the algorithmic solution is actually possible. And it's a brilliant wonder that it's even possible at all, right? In many cases. And so those are the nooks and crannies where you'll find lots of really beautiful things in the landscape of algorithms in general. Anyway, those are the things I've tried to build kind of into the questing system also, because if you notice, it's, you do get trophies, and then some of these are optional, but I think some of the trophies are really, really hard to get. And most of the trophies are easy to get, but some of them are really hard to get. Especially the try quest and things like that, and new stuff that you don't find in other universities and colleges. In fact, tries, they don't teach tries. I don't know, even at Stanford or some of my classmates, friends who are there, it is just mentioned in passing. And you just expect to understand these things. And all of these other colleges too, they just mentioned in passing. But it's a super duper important data structure. You use it all the time. But it's not just the use of the data structure, right? By learning how a toy is built, we develop an intuition for how computer science itself works. But that is one of the reasons why I think I told you guys, people ask me, a Java track stops after the blue level, the yellow level, and there's nothing after, there's nothing matching 2B and 2C for Java. But that's when I realized it doesn't matter, because we're not trying to teach the language at all. We're just using the language as a medium to teach computer science and algorithmic thinking. So that's why I never did the Java track. In fact, there's a boot camp I'm running. There are a few people who enrolled in the boot camp wrote to me saying, I thought it was a Java boot camp and it's in C++. I don't know if I'm interested in C++, and I may drop off. So anyway, they may drop off. But I told them, you don't have to drop off, because, we're teaching C++, not as, assuming that you already know C++, but you'll actually end up knowing C++ because we'll walk you all the way from blue 1, fangs, hello world, and through to, green and then red. This is red, there's no way to start talking about red. I don't think anyone can do it in 6 weeks. And I don't know what other colleges. Maybe there's a CS2C or something that De Anza offers. Okay, and I think that is equivalent to our CS2C. I don't know if they offer it in summer, but I know some of these other colleges offer the equivalent of CS2C in summer. That's 6 weeks. And I'm thinking, how could they possibly do that? Because each of those algorithms, at someone your age, for example, right? Who also has, competing interests, social time, and you got, friends and all these things. For you, it's 1 week is not enough for mastering an algorithm. You got to think about it daily, and depending on your other commitments, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours a day max, right? So yeah. So I would, maybe the reason why these are offered are really because for students who say, I already know the stuff, I just need to get this check mark so I can go on to get my transfer done or something like that. But otherwise, I don't see how anyone can actually learn all that useful stuff in 6. But if you do the questing thing properly all the way through, especially through the red, red's a different ball game altogether. Green is, you see the difference between blue and green. So the same order of magnitude of difference is what you'll see from green and red, but it's not going to be challenging, bad challenging. It'll be fun and interesting time. In fact, what you guys should do is if you're done, anyone who's done with green 9, should just go ahead and enroll in this Genius Bootcamp, right? So the batches started running on the 1st of August. There's a whole bunch of people now. The goal is, the idea is that if you enroll in it, it's free. It's free, by the way. It's basically the costing system. I had my spring 2B students, a bunch of CS2B students, and some 2C students from before. They were interested in seeing this, and so I hired them as interns at Nonlinear Media. And they launched this Genius Bootcamp, actually. So it's a bootcamp that is being organized by some of your senior students. And I'm teaching, obviously, right? So it's basically the entire questing sequence, from blue to red, end of red. But you'll be doing it in the bootcamp community, which essentially is committed C++ people, not people chasing certificates or grades, but trying to solve interesting problems and talking with each other about interesting concepts. You go and look in the 2C subreddit, you see so many interesting discussions, right? So some of these discussions are so profound, I don't even see them on Stack Overflow and some of these advanced and course sites out there. This is the depth and the insight I see in some of these discussions. I don't see them, I haven't seen them anyway, right? Even you have to look very, very hard in many of these places, but here people just seem to be bubbling with these insights. So you should absolutely try, see if you can enroll in the bootcamp. I actually tell my 2A students also, right? So they should also consider enrolling CS2. It's a genius.nonlinearmedia.org. So right now you go to quest.nonlinearmedia.org, right? So go to genius.nonlinearmedia.org. That's the site we set up. And then say, yes, are you a genius, right? Because you are a genius. And then you'll be led to a page where you can just put your email address in. And then, Namrata or Chris or I, one of the 3 of us tomorrow, we'll send you an email saying, all right, you've onboarded. You actually start doing the red quest. You can complete the green quest for CS2B. So after the final, maybe, right, you can start working on the red quest, but except you'll still have a group to work with.
Actually, it just goes from all the way to red.
Which one?
It goes all the way to red. This bootcamp.
Yeah, it actually starts in blue and goes all the way to red. And I was thinking that it'd be like a 6-week boot camp. And that's kind of what prompted me to talk about this, watering a plant or growing a plant today. Is, and then I think somewhere along the way, someone pointed out to me, maybe it was one of the interns, it's impossible for someone to do this in 6 weeks. Or even if they do it, they're not going to get anything out of it. So I think that's when we dropped the whole idea. That it's it's a boot camp. Boot camps always have these fixed times, right? There's not a boot camp, but it's a boot camp of infinite time and infinite threads. Anyone can join anytime, anyone can leave anytime. So there's a stream flowing, right? At any time you join, there'll be other people working on the same quest as yourself, right? If you're working fast, you just join more people that have progressed fast. You're working slow, you have more people to join you still, right? So it's a different kind of boot camp, and it's 100% free because it doesn't cost me anything right now. Actually, I got to take a look at it, because I'm running it through a load balancer at Amazon, but I'm actually not using the load balancer at all. It's one server is basically taken up. Even international load it doesn't take a lot of time, right? Most of it's a Docker container, and a lot of stuff runs in JavaScript on your machines, right? So maybe I should just take the load balancer out of the equation and just put the naked server out there, behind a firewall or something. And that will say, make it even cheaper. Then I can just prepay for like 25 or 30 years, right? Forget all about it. And then, the interns can run the, boot camp, or you guys can all get together and, just keep it going, because, the seniors will help the juniors, and the juniors become seniors and help the next batch and so on. Well, that was a idea that with which we started, but we'll see how it goes. But I'm very pleased that it has actually got so much interest so far. And in fact, if you guys do it, it'll be more fun. Because you'd already be done with most of the green quests, be starting in red. As also, I think some of the organizers are also doing the, Chris has already done all the red quests, but Namrata is still, she's done a fair number of red quests, but she's still on red. And so one of the organizers will be working on the red quest also simultaneously as you guys. And there's other people who will be. I think many of them will start in green.
I had some thoughts about kind of like, I was going to write down later on feedback for this course, and I guess if this is an appropriate forum to talk about that now, but I think the part that I enjoyed this generally speaking, but the part that I struggled with was it wasn't a a traditional like kind of like, here's a prompt for like not prompt, here's some like prerequisite information, like a typical like lecture homework series, right? It was a lot of like fending for myself in terms of like finding what I needed to know, and which is a skill, by the way, in itself, right? But then again, I'm a little older.
But yeah, it was being packaged. Yeah, it was being kind of packaged with a CS2C course, which you didn't ask for. Yeah.
Right.
I kind of enjoy that though. Not gonna lie, like having to find information, but I would say that the extra resources that was provided was kind of useful, especially like quest 3 or 4.
Which one are you talking about? You mean the Michael Joseph stuff?
The life of the game of life. That one was really like, I had to read up on the resources.
Oh yeah. That was Michael Joseph.
And those informations were good, and the rest, like finding out, I think kind of stimulate how like real life software engineering works. So it was intriguing. I really liked how like you pace it out, which is nice. Yeah,
but maybe we can work in something, along the lines of what Brian is saying, is build some more structure into the syllabus, saying, all right, so week 1 you got to do this, week 2 you got to do this. I
agree with that too. I feel like there should be like a little bit, the modules are helpful in some quests, but some of them I feel like I want a little bit more information, a little bit more. But I guess a little bit more structure would be a little better. But it still is pretty interesting just like have a open mindset, open playing fields to figure it out.
Yeah, but for fall, I'll try and incorporate some of these changes. Now for fall quarter, I'm teaching fall quarter in person in on campus. So 2A. But I'll incorporate these changes. I'll say, this week you got to do these things, and so on. And because it's face to face, attendance is going to be mandatory. So we'll see how that works. Right, like 40 students. I don't know how many I'm going to get, but we'll see.
Just a question: is the finals going to be the same structure as the midterm?
Same, exactly the same. Okay. Just in fact, yeah, not same question bank. Okay, different question bank, but exactly the same machinery.
And
Oh, okay, I have a quick question. Sorry, Nate. But like for the final, maybe I missed this, but is there like a deadline or set date for the final report to be done?
It's a Thursday. Thursday next week.
Thursday next week. Okay, cool.
And I think all day from midnight the previous day to midnight the current
next
day.
Thursday. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's 24 hours.
Okay.
I have a question regarding like after the finals. When can we expect to be getting like our report? Because I can't tell for everyone. But...
Thursday, right? How about this? Make a meeting for Friday, just like this, and I'll if it's like this time of day on the Friday, I'll try and get an informal calculation done already of you guys, and anyone who's brave enough to ask for that grade in public during this meeting, I will be happy to shout it out. Okay. Well, it's what I've calculated anyway, right? So I mean, and you can say, hey, I calculated an A, and you said it's an F. It actually happened last quarter. So one of the students, Ivy, emailed me saying, "Hey, I got an F," and I knew that should have been a definite error. So, but I can imagine how it would be, feel. So I fixed it. So it was an A instead of an F or something like that.
Would you also like update the canvas? Because like the university
No,
requires
I
like,
won't update
screenshots.
Canvas.
Oh, how would
Because
we?
I'm not using the Canvas has its own system of calculating the grade itself, yeah, and it's a bit messy for me to use because so I'm not using that at all. I'm only using Canvas to collect the points and then export it into a CSV file or a spreadsheet that then I process with my scripts.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I think that in order for a Canvas to do all of those things, there were a number of changes that should have happened all the way from the beginning of the class. Many things should have been attached to it, like discussion forums and all these things, which we never did.
I have a question, actually. It's
Yeah,
kind of a
sure.
conceptual question. Yes. And this is about the sorry if you're done, Win, but the tree data structures. So I'm kind of struggling with this like in my personal projects and stuff, but as a system design kind of question, how did you decide to make the functions on the node within the node instead of like having a function part of the tree class that act on the node? If that makes any sense. Like
let me think about this for a sec. Yeah. So you're saying, how do you decide what is a member function rather than a function that takes a node as a parameter?
Yeah. So right now you have
Static.
the node has all these methods, for
Right.
inserting but like for examples from online on these classes and just in general, it's an object in itself. Why not just have a method from the larger class act on the node? So
a method from the larger class acting on the object passed in as a parameter, I think it is a tempting first approach that I would take if I was not yet as familiar with object-oriented programming. Because if I came from a C background, for example, that's what I would have done anyway. Yeah. And so
why is that?
I think I think, and that it's an important question, I think, because I think that kind of thinking just comes out of marinating in it for a while to kind of automatically figure out this method belongs to this object, like a hand belongs to this body. And so you get a sense of belonging, meaning, and I think that is a point at which you start saying, well, that is why the object itself is being passed into you as a first hidden parameter. The object for any method, the first parameter, even if you didn't have any parameters, even if 0 parameters, right? There is a hidden parameter. That hidden parameter is this, and this is a pointer to the object. And so whether you ask for it or not, it's there. And I think if you wanted a true if you wanted a true method that did not take any parameters, no overhead on the stack at all, then it makes sense to make a global method that didn't take any parameters, 0 parameters in there. So the only thing you push on the stack is like a return address or something like that. And so yeah, I think the moment you start using an object, there's always a stack overhead of at least one thing that you need to, in addition to the return address, you need to push. But as to when you decide that this needs to be part of the object as opposed to the object being passed to it, I think it is just you just feel. Let me try and think a bit more, because I think I can actually put my finger on it. Okay, so when do you say that this should be part of so if you can pass the object as a parameter, and assuming it is, let's say it's a static method. Okay, it's a static method, because if it's another object, because static is the closest, then you can say it also has object access to all the private members, right? So static, and it's being passed as the object as a parameter, and assume it's passed by reference, so you don't even have that overhead. So you're getting that. And how do you decide? If it could just be any static method taking 2. Okay, equals. Yeah, all right. Okay, I think this is what it is. Okay, so I think if it's an operator equals, I think that's a fantastic example. Okay, so take operator equals, for example. So it's a transitive and it's a commutative operator. A equals B is B equals A. It's so this is inherent symmetry to it, and it takes two parameters. Now, in that sense, in that case, tell me if you don't feel this way. It automatically does not make sense to make it a member of one object, taking the other object as a parameter, saying, you know, is that equal to this? Because it's kind of symmetric. So you want to say operator equals is global, and it takes two of these guys as parameters. So that is I think that is a sense we're going for. So what is the thing that distinguishes that? Well, equals has to be like that, whereas plus equals has got to have an object on the left-hand side. So it is, I think it's kind of related to, you know, what you would say, maybe it's related to the L value, R value thing in C. But I'm pretty sure there's formal studies of these things. I was just talking about how I feel about it, right? So it just comes intuitively after a while. And lots of people just use it. And if you went and I'm pretty sure you went and asked programmers who've been there and they're doing this for a long time, they're doing the right thing, but they don't know why they're doing it, but it just comes intuitively. And they know why they're doing it, but they don't know why, oh, because someone said so, or right. It just comes. And,
yeah, I think this stuff is, I don't think there's a right answer here, but you know, looking at like kind of like just reading up about trees beforehand, I just see, you know, the insert method being applied to these nodes, not the node itself having the insert method, which is pretty unique. So, I mean, yeah.
But you're right. You know, you could basically write, you know, insert this node, comma, new node, right? You can do that too. And I think because it doesn't make sense to, yeah, that's the other thing. It doesn't make sense without this parameter. And so that this is, because the only way you call it is with the first parameter, and that has got to be the current node, then might as well make a method out of it. So maybe those are things that kind of, you know, make us feel that's the way it should be done.
Yeah, understood.
It'll be interesting. If you find literature, share it in the forums, right?
Okay.
So if you
Yeah,
find,
sounds good.
you know, yeah, and say this is the reason why we do it that way. Even people who've been doing that way may not be aware of, you know, other things that have been reasons for doing the same thing. So thanks. Only 5 of you. I thought there'll be more. Because a lot of you have completed the 9th quest, I think. You're done too, Varun, right? I thought you were finished.
No, I haven't done the 9th quest yet. No, I'm working on it.
No, but you were finished with 8.
Yeah, I finished with 8. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, anyone who's done 8, I think is pretty much done, because 9 is nothing at all. It's like it's easier than Hello World.
9
Really,
was fun.
you know, once you do it, you know.
It seems
So
pretty
if you've done 8,
straightforward, yeah,
you're
so-
pretty much finished.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
How is 9
So-
graded? Like, I know that they're all optional, so.
How do you grade it? That's the question.
No, if you do each one, you get the trophies for it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Except for the last
it's
one,
an
right?
optional. Yeah, it's an optional. So I was
Because
like,
it's optional, because you don't have to do it and you'll still get the password.
oh,
So
I
you can
see.
get 0 trophies. You can
Oh.
get 0 trophies and the password for the first red quest, or you can get all the trophies and the password for. Or you can miss out any number. You can miss out any number of trophies.
Is the last one where you have to post, like, is it just graded based on like extra credit of how many people uploaded?
There's no extra credit, okay? It's just fun. People are just doing, you know,
I
crazy
see, I
things.
see.
Yeah. Because last quarter, I think Dylan tried to do this 3D thing with soccer ball.
Oh yeah, with the soccer ball.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah, and then I also started saying, oh, you know, students are doing some really cool stuff. So when you do some cool stuff, I basically, if it's cool enough and short enough, I take that and integrated that into the question system, so that you know, future Quest 9ers will say, hey, this one was done by Tyranid spring 23 or summer 23. Right now, I think you get Dylan's and Zach Michelle, but you know, I set it up so that I can just keep adding more and more. Anything else? What time is it, by the way? You know, I mean, I've got the 2A meeting. Oh, I got a half hour for that. But if you don't have any more questions, I can just take off. You can talk if you guys, right? Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, thank you all.
Yeah, actually, one last question, actually. So I think, well, has this been answered yet? the dogging is all done on the last day as well, on Friday.
What is done on the last day?
All the dogs too. Dog.
The one where we have to
the
write the
dogs are
reviews.
the-
Yeah.
I know, I think, yeah, you got to do it by the final.
Okay.
Yeah, if you got to do it by the final, because
Okay.
I think I'll import all the scores at the same time, including the final.
So
Okay.
we should finish everything before the finals, and then we'll have a meeting the day after the finals to talk
Yeah,
about the
yeah,
grades. Okay.
yeah. Make a meeting the day after the final.
Okay,
That should be fun.
that's great to know.
All
Thank
right,
you.
okay. All right, see you guys
All right.
later, okay?
Appreciate
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You
Hey.
too. Well, I got Ryan, yeah, Brian, can you be the host?
Yeah, sure. I got it. Hey guys, so I want to know before you guys go, all the points, okay, that we need to dog all this stuff. So
Yeah,
Wait.
that's what I was gonna ask him too. Like,
Are you guys
I don't know.
gonna dog it? Isn't it worth like only 5% though?
I'm only
I'm
gonna
gonna-
do the blue ones.
You
I
wanna get
haven't
it?
got that yet. But yeah.
yeah. I can give you my like
Oh,
like a
okay,
screenshot
that
of what you should get, you know, go
Oh,
for
that
it,
would be
but
kind of helpful.
no, absolutely.
Oh, wait, you haven't? Oh, that's good.
I mean, I have what I have, which I can show, but like
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
you
I
because I just don't know
can
what
check.
question to focus on and make sure I should.
exactly, and I think that I think that's a completely fair question to ask.
I thought I was gonna ask him, but I'm like, I don't know if I should ask him or not. I'm like, just let it go.
Yeah,
He
I
said
forget
it needs
what-
to be above 241, right?
Yeah, I think so.
240 because I have
240.
exactly like 240 and change, and I'm not spending a second longer on.
Oh shit, let's go. You dogged it.
Yeah, but that's for the blue one. So these are. I think I'm so low for this class, but all right, where's my? Can I just like give you a screenshot?
Oh, I'm so far, man.
I mean, I'm gonna give it an honest effort, but yeah, there you go.
Download that.
I'm gonna take a screenshot from mine too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
just
I'll
to-
send both
just
of you
to
guys.
compare.
Look out for your like your in your DMs for on Reddit. And then I can ask you what we can ask each other what the
yeah, what
scores are
areas
for
because we're
grades.
lacking on honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, I have not done well on greens. Like I'm like, I'll figure this out later. I was hoping the last week would be easy, and it kind of was. So yeah, if you haven't done the last one, it is once you figure out how to do it, like all of them are automatic. Like it's
Oh, okay, cool. I haven't started that one yet. So I have to-
yeah.
this is mine. Oh, let's see.
Oh shit, I'm missing a lot of trophies on end. Holy sh.
I only managed to dog the.
How did you get that extra like 2/3 of a point that I'm missing on?
Oh, dude, I
This
literally
was
had
like-
to go through each line and just like delete space or like it's the it's a slash
yeah.
n, and you have to go through like each one. How to say it? Each
It's all gonna
condition.
be like the 2 strings, right? That's probably where I'm missing the most points. I feel like.
Yeah, it's.
Oh man, I am looking at yours. I think I am slacking.
See, I'm the same as Win on and I saw yours is 32. I'm like, I only have 16. I'm like, yo.
Yeah, I only have
Hey,
62.
And I was like, okay. Hey man, I got my password, so that's all
We
matters.
need 190. So how many you're missing then?
Um,
When you're missing what? 208.
No, for the blue, I dogged it. For the blue ones, I got 191, exactly 191.
Okay, so you're missing like
Um,
so you have 208 for the second half of this class.
No, for the second half, so I got 398 in total, right? And minus
Yeah.
191, it's 207. That means I'm missing like 40 points.
well, it's probably Ant is like a majority of it. 16 right there.
Okay, yeah. Dude, I'm missing 40. Holy shit. That's so.
Yeah. I think I know it's probably the one the fourth one that was rough. I think people just kind of slid by. I mean I did.
I'm up.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I see. I missed 5 points on octopus as well. And
I'll post mine, but I'm lacking hella trophies, so it doesn't even matter. But I'll show you.
honestly, I don't know if it's worth to go to get that 5%. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
if all goes well, it's 95%, right? If you think about it, like
It's a
if-
participation you have to hope for. Participation, you gotta hope you get there.
Yeah, and I have to also the participation like in the class, like, or sorry, on Reddit, like
Mm,
everyone's just posting their tips. Like there's not real like discussions and stuff. And it's
I agree.
Should we
because
you
it's,
know.
it's so like it's hard to wait for a response that long, right? Like people don't check it enough.
Yeah.
unfortunately.
You gotta hope people are online.
comment on each other's shit? Is that
Yeah, yeah.
colluding?
I don't know. All right, but this is good information. Yeah, I'll probably reach out. I want to like, yeah, I'm just gonna bang out these this last one, and then I'm gonna go and come back, and I'm gonna try to get, you know, I mean, for the blue ones, we had to get all of them basically in order to dog it, right? That's basically what dogging is.
I think there's a little bit more than that, but yeah.
You got 291.
Yeah, I got 191 exactly.
191. Yeah, I think if you get like all the edge cases, if you think about all of the weird stuff, then you get the full. So
For the 0.3, the quarter points, just go through each line, man. Like I had to go like minus that slash and then submit it again just to see which one is.
yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
It's fair.
But reach out though, guys. Like with
Yeah,
Brian and Varun. Right?
Yeah, you'll see me. All right, guys, I am out, dude.
Yeah, I'm off
You know,
too.
best of luck. You know,
Good luck, guys.
for the exam, I'm thinking I'm just gonna just do the same thing, just do all the
Same thing.
practice problems. And,
Study the practice problem.
yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay,
Thanks,
okay.
Miles,
Have a good day, guys. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Later.